You click on fire, and it brings you up to a cabin by a lake.
Oh, my dream house.
Oh.
Good choice.
Hey.
The roof's a little busted. I don't know.
Oh.
Room's a little busted.
Okay, maybe it's not quite a dream
That's
house.
okay. My dad's an awesome TV repairman. He'll fix it.
That is so cursed. It's got a dragon knuckles.
Look how
See
happy
the eyes?
he is, though. So happy.
When I expand my eyes, the eyes grow.
Oh my god.
That is so awesome. Oh lord.
The worst thing to put face
That
tracking
is
on.
cool.
Knuckles. Do you know the way, my brother?
Yeah. So
The smile at the end.
God, please, no! 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 No!
welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and our new guests are... That would be you folks.
My name's Sinrith. I make models and do things. And this is my fiance Kyudo.
Oh,
Oh, you know.
it's a
Appreciate you guys being here.
indeed. It's a pleasure. Ooh, it's a pleasure to meet you and have and be able to meet and speak with you. So, how did you get started with avatar making and getting into Vket?
Sure. So avatar making came a long time before Vket. Wait, did it?
Wait a minute. Hold the bus. Hold the bus here. What is
Vket.
What is VK? What the hell is VK?
Okay, Raptor.
I don't know.
Do you know?
Have them explain.
Oh yeah.
Why am I?
Brain.
You explain it for us, and then we'll go from there.
I hope
Sorry,
you guys have some good editors for all this, you know.
he's right there.
I do the
Damn.
editing.
All right, we're gonna
And
make it look smooth.
it's gonna look natural.
Yeah. No, I'm running on a work brain as I work all day, and I'm tired, so I might be a little like slow and yeah.
It's all good. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
I'll do my best. Anyway, Vket. I tend to call it Booth accidentally because most of the stuff that you see at Vket is available on a website called Booth. It's primarily aimed at the Japanese market, but a lot of Westerners go over there too. So I have my models on there. Anyway, Vket is a really, really big gathering of a lot of people that make stuff for Vrchat. So you'll find things like avatar creators. You'll find communities, you'll find props, you'll find world makers. Basically anything you can find at Vket. So I exhibited in the last one, which just finished up a few days ago. Now it's just doing models, so.
Okay. And okay, how did you get started with VR and making models for VR?
Yeah. So actually, I started learning 3D modeling in high school. I absolutely hated it. It was the worst course of my entire life. I hated it so much, I said, nope, I'm not going to do this. And I shut down and didn't touch it for another 6 years or so. And when I did pick it back up, it was for cosplay. I was cosplaying, so I wanted to, you know, make some stuff, 3D print it, and then wear it. I never did any of that because I got distracted by Vrchat around the same time. And by that point, you know, I was seeing people are making models, and I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. I wish I could make models. And it took me a while, but I eventually did. Obviously, in Vket. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't like learning 3D modeling just to learn it in school. You know, I need something that's like, oh, this is tangible and I can actually see what I've made, you know, in person or in VR, and that it feels good. I like it.
Yeah, okay. So what was Vket like then while you were running there and the whole event from your side of things?
Yeah. So it depends. once Vket started, everything was great, and I was a happy camper. But before, like the lead up to Vket, it can be a little bit rough, and I think it's rough for a lot of people that do it. Just because it's an event, you have to have all your stuff submitted, you have to optimize the heck out of everything, which can be very time consuming. And for me, I've been struggling a lot with mental health, I've been struggling with physical health. I have a full-time job, and I was also trying to release a model for Vket all at once. That was not a fun experience. I would not recommend it.
Okay.
But yeah, it takes a while. I ended up reusing my booth from another year, which is probably the only reason I managed to submit in time. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Even I'm making it sound really horrible, huh? It's fun. It's fun. So they usually will have like weekly meetups and stuff once the deadline is closer, so you can go and chat with other people that are going to be exhibiting. And this is my first year actually going to that, which was a lot of fun. Let's see. Am I missing anything?
Well, with meetups, you get to meet other submitters or exhibitors, they call them.
Yeah.
And you get to see most of them are pretty antsy to show you what they've been working on. So it's good to network and meet like-minded creators. Which we met a few people, and then we met like a good friend now that we hang out almost daily. Air quotes, almost daily.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to meet individuals that are interested in the same field. So, for example, like if you are a world maker or avatar creator or even just assets, it is good to get into Vket. So, definitely recommend it if you give it a chance. It is a kind of like a lottery system to apply for Vket. So, definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever you do apply for Vket, you will get an email to show that you've been approved. It does have a fee. It's not extremely expensive, but could also weigh out if you have something to offer. So that's going to increase your sales. So it's definitely worth it if you have something to offer.
Yeah, it's just like going to like a Comic-Con booth or like setting up something for like a merchandise alley or whatever. I can't remember. I haven't been to a convention, so I know that they have artist alley. It's kind of like that where you go, you set up your booth, people can come by and they can just like look at all the things you've made. Yeah.
Alrighty, that's really cool. Welcome back, Raptor. That's really cool. Are there any like requirements from your side, including optimization, they require from you to be there?
Yes, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that you need to worry about. So they have some guidelines and stuff lined out. I can't remember all of them, I'm sorry. But they do make you optimize the heck out of your booth. I don't know if you guys have been to Vket, but when you load into it, those worlds are usually 300 megabytes, 400 megabytes. They're enormous, and that's because everybody has their booths that they're uploading. But basically, everybody in the normal avatar world showcases or Vket worlds, I guess. There's a limit, I think, of 10 megabytes. So you have to fit everything in under 10 megabytes, and it can't have more than like 12 draw calls. There's a few other things too, but I can't remember. Regardless, like most of your time.
There's an avatar limit.
Yeah, there is an avatar limit too, but most people ignore it. So you're supposed to keep your avatars below very poor. You're supposed to. But if you go to Vket, you're obviously going to find a few models that are very poor. This year I had one. I felt really bad about it, but I did not have time to optimize it before I could upload the booth. Because if I didn't, then there just wouldn't be anything there. Yeah, I lost track of what I was talking about. Good.
It's perfectly fine. Now, from your side of things, was there any experiences that make it feel like it was worth you doing?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like it's always kind of worth doing. Even if it's like a really like turbulent time, you're struggling like crazy, when it's done, it's there, and there like a lot of people are gonna see it. And, that's fun and exciting in its own. And for me, I just love Vket in general, just running around, seeing what everybody's made, checking out the worlds, because the Vket crew does a really good job just, making the worlds and giving them some fun little things to do while you're in there. Yeah.
Okay. Me. So
I have no fucking clue. I just got back here. I'm lost. Nothing new. Fucking freeze. There goes the shit, and I'm going, huh? Okay, I'll just keep listening. I'll fill in a question somewhere.
fair enough. How long have you been at making worlds and playing Vrchat? And how'd you get into VR?
Yeah. So I was one of those people that saw the Knuckles videos on YouTube, and I was like, haha, funny meme video. I never became a Knuckles, but I did want to play VRChat really badly. So one year I said, okay, I'm gonna get myself a headset. I got the headset for Christmas. I was actually talking to him before. We met in MapleStory, and we hung out for quite a long time. I got into VRChat, and like the relationship just kind of like progressed like this, and it kept going. So he kind of helped me stay in VR because when I first joined, I was so like afraid of everyone, literally everyone. I was a mute when I started. And I just kind of like would go into worlds and run around, check things out by myself. And then he would pop on and say, "Hi, Sinrith, let's go do something." And I'd be like, "Heck yeah, let's go," because, you know, it's a little bit lonely just going around by yourself all the time. And now I'm here. I'm trying to put myself out a little bit more, you know, come out of the bubble because I still live in a bubble for the most part. But this year is actually the first year I've spent like trying to go out and meet new people and make friends and things like that, and it's been really nice actually.
So
Keep in mind, it
I got a question.
required a lot of begging.
Yeah, Kyudo begged me to get in. He's like, please,
So-
just play it in desktop. And I was like, no, I want the headset first.
Instead of being in VR chat, I had to beg her in MapleStory. I think what kind of helped was, unfortunately, MapleStory 2 was the one we were playing at the time, and that one got shut down. That gave the open window of how we're going to hang out now. And now she's going to be in VR chat. So, obviously she was really shy, but I was like, we're in VR chat. Let's have fun. Let's talk. Let's do things. You know, everybody has something social they like to do in VR chat. So
Indeed.
it pretty much grew from there. And of course, I've been here forever, so I had a lot to show.
I got a question for both of you. Since you guys been in VR chat and everything else going from one to the other, what differences do you notice being in VR compared to real life? Knowing that you do what you do and everything else, have you guys ever met? More than one question. Have you guys ever met in real life?
I could literally walk over to him right now and you'd hear my voice through his mouth. So
Okay,
yeah, we
that
live
answers
together.
that question. There's one. Well, that answers that goddamn question. Okay, so now the other question. So, what do you notice being in VR compared to the real world? What's the difference to both of you, in your own words, that what you see differently from one to the other? Well, he throws her out in front of the bus. Hope it don't hit her. Jeez, you go first. I don't want to be afraid of the dark.
I mean, I could
don't
go
know.
first. All
I
right,
mean-
I'll go first. if you want.
Ladies first.
well, no, it's too late. You already told me to do it now.
Yeah, give him hell. Give him hell. Yeah, there you go, girl.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She'll throw the cat at me.
In terms of VR versus real life, let's see. I think, and this is kind of like on a when we first met basis, we're basically both the same person in VR as we are in real life. I know that some people are very concerned about that when you're playing VR. Like some people are a little bit more in control of who they want to present themselves as versus who they are. I just run my mouth and talk, and I don't have the brain capacity to be someone else, so I'm just me. He's just him. Obviously he doesn't look like this in real life, and neither do I, but yeah. there's not a whole lot of differences, right? What were you gonna say?
I mean, like, for example, like, I went out earlier just to a gas station and seeing the difference between, like, being in VR versus out and about. just seeing how people talk and interact with each other, it's so different. Just like the like culture and the way that people just interact with each other,
Hmm.
it's so different. Because VR chat, we just have like a standard in a way, and everybody's more open, more expressive, and more talkative. At least how I feel it.
Hmm.
And then I'll go to like somewhere public, for example, gas station, and everybody's just to themselves, doing their own thing. They just want to get there and get out. They don't want to interact with anybody. They see you and they're just like, "Ooh, get away from me! I just want to get my drink or whatever and get out of here." It's so different because I feel like in VR chat, like you could run up to a random person, and obviously you have options to think about. Okay, do I want to interact with this individual? Are they annoying? Are they going to be, somebody I don't want to interact with? Or maybe a possible friend, possible best friend, or, for some individuals, possible partner.
Yeah.
So people take more chances, I feel, in VR chat compared to like in reality. And for us, we kind of got to experience both ends because we didn't meet right away. We got to meet, let's see, maybe like was 5 months after we met in online, maybe even
Um,
longer than that, something like that.
well, it was definitely from the time that we met to the time that we met in real life was quite a long time. Yeah, probably at least half a year. I mean, I guess it's not that bad of a time actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, because we got some people that are living in like Norway or other countries, and they're getting into relationships with people in like the United States, and you probably aren't gonna see them in like a year. You might have to wait 2 years. You might have to wait 3 years. It's a lot harder to do that. So
Indeed. So, at least
Yeah.
with places like VRChat, you have the ability to have as close to a real life connection without actually being there. At least more so than places like Twitter or Facebook. Anyway, you see body
Yeah.
movements and avatar, you hear a voice of sorts. Then there's, yeah. So I do want to understand. And I do have a question for you, being a mute or starting as a mute. Has VR helped you
Yeah.
open up, and has that leaked out to the real world as well?
I think so. I think it has. I'm having a little bit harder of a time just, pretending to be quote unquote normal in real life. I still make like VR chat jokes, and then he'll be like, "Well, you said that people around, they're gonna hear you," and I'm just like, "Well, I forgot,"
Stuff you wouldn't say in public.
Yeah, and I
Ah.
just say it anyway because I apparently have no filter. And it didn't really used to be that way. I
Wanna
actually
bet?
used to be I used to be really, really, really quiet. So I thought maybe I can just be a mute, but since I've met him and I've met all these people in VR chat, it's kind of like I've come out of my shell and I'm too tired and lazy to go back into it.
Fair enough.
I like her. I like her. She's funny.
She is funny. We have some funny
good.
encounters.
That's good.
Indeed. So, do you think it's been a positive thing since you've come into VR chat?
Yeah, I definitely think it has. I mean, I had stuff in real life that I like doing, but the stuff that I've kind of taken over in VR chat has just like trumped every single thing else that I would get involved into. So like, for me, it's really good. I get to make friends. It's not really a horribly scary situation, I guess. Just going out and meeting random people in public can be very scary. But in VR, it's a lot easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a
Um,
lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm glad that I did get into it because I met him. I got really into 3D modeling. It's one of my favorite things to do now. We don't talk about the Unity parts because I don't like those, but the Blender stuff is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely understand. We've heard a bit about people's wonderful time in Unity and how, quoting Tom from Bethesda, it just works, I guess is the best way to put
Yeah.
Unity.
Yeah. It just works. Works great. Looks great. Wonderful performance. It's not slow at all. It never crashes. It's great. Great program.
Indeed.
Oh, and it makes so much sense too. I totally understand everything.
So, speaking of Unity and Blender, how long did it take you to learn all that? And what did the methods you used to learn it?
A long time. So like I said, I did have a little bit of experience from school in how to use Blender, but at that point, Blender was very outdated. So I kind of got into a course on Udemy to learn 3D modeling, and I think I did like 2 chapters of that, and I said, heck this, it's too boring. But you know, that was around the time that I started playing Vrchat too. And when I was playing, I kind of, and this is, you kind of asked this earlier, but I didn't get to talk about it because I forgot. But you know, when you go into Vrchat, first thing you do is you want to find an avatar to use. And for me, I was going around looking for models. I found a few that I liked, but I also found a lot of models, the majority of models rather, are just in like really, really, really skimpy clothing. And I know some people are like perfectly fine and comfortable with that, but for me, I get a little bit anxious almost wearing that type of thing. So I'm like, okay, well, what I want doesn't exist, so I'm gonna see if I can make it. And back in those days, everybody was still doing like kit bashes with the little Miku Miku dance models and stuff. So I did a bunch of that. I did a bunch of like kit bashing and stuff. And around that time, I also discovered, oh, well, people can rip your models. I'm like, oh, well, I don't want my models to get ripped. Nobody does really, of course. But I said to myself, okay, well, if I just make the model public, it's not going to matter if someone rips it because I'm not going to be able to tell, blah, 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 whatever. Weird reasoning at the time, but whatever, it worked. So I made my models public, I made a world, and I just plopped them all in there. And I'm trying to think, how long did it take me between starting, like, Blender? Probably about a year before I got a world up, huh?
If not a little less, just under a year, I would say.
Yeah. Anyway, I did that, and I started getting, like, DMs from people saying, oh, your models are really cute. And I'm like, this is weird. Why are people messaging me? I'm not used to I'm the person that would upload my pictures on DeviantArt and just sit there staring at it while it has, like, 3 views or something like that. And, you know, you get all, like, depressed and sad. So it was really weird for me to get people that are messaging me and saying, hey, I like your stuff. It's still kind of weird to think about, too, to be honest.
Okay.
Also, like, kind of got distracted of like a gimmicky world too, making your EDC world.
Oh, yeah. I made a world for a music festival that Kyudo and I go to. It got canceled for COVID one year, and I was very sad. Very, very sad. So I literally went into Blender, took a life-size, I guess it's life-size, like a 2-scale model that someone had made of the Las Vegas Speedway, which is where the music
It's like a
festival
3D print.
is. Yeah, no, it wasn't a 3D print. It was like some kind of, I think they took it directly from Google Maps and they turned it into like a 3D model somehow. I have no idea.
Yeah, something like that.
Regardless, I found it and just filled it up with a bunch of stuff from that music festival so that, you know, it would still feel like we get to go even if it's shut down for a year. We just had a friend send us a video in that world, and I'm like, oh, how nostalgic. And now I'm thinking, I want to fix it up. But I'm also thinking, I don't have time to fix it up.
So,
Before 3.0.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's old. It's very old. 2020.
So how do you feel about some of the rule changes with the whole updating the SDK in your files? How are you feeling about all of that going on?
About that. So my old world that I released is SDK, the old SDK for world. So now that they've kind of gotten rid of it, I cannot update the world anymore. So the next model I release is gonna have to be in like some kind of placeholder world or a new world. I do want to eventually make one, but I have a lot of other things that I need to focus on before I could really like dig into that, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, the change is good because, like, all the Udon stuff is here now, and there's all kinds of cool things that you can do. But it's bad because mine's on the old version, and I don't know how to upgrade it properly, and, you know, the world's kind of laggy anyway, so I want to do better, you know?
Okay. So, I have a question for you. How much has changed since when you started making avatars to where we are now? Like, what kinds of things, and how do you feel about the changes Vrchat's made?
I feel like Kyudo could chime in on this one a little bit too. I
For sure.
definitely like the new models a lot more. There's a lot more like diversity, and you get all these cool little features. We have avatar scaling now. That's pretty cool. And it's become a lot easier, I think, to just like make the toggles and stuff for avatars in general. Let's see. And I know the appearances have changed quite a bit too, because everybody used to use the Miku Miku dance models that you could get on DeviantArt. So everybody kind of had like the same body, same texture, same everything. But yeah, it's a lot different now, and everything just feels a little more polished. I'm not sure how to describe it, but.
Well, you know me, I always go about this because I started with like a Windows mixed reality, which is like the worst VR headset you could use. That's how I started.
Yeah.
So the tracking is so much better compared to way back. The avatars are way more expressive. Now we have like what is it, spring bones now? We
Fizz
used to call it
yeah.
dynamic
Yeah.
bone. Fizz bones, that's what we call them now. But we have face tracking now, which I do have. I'm looking at you. Winking at you. We have, so many assortments of full body trackers now. So there's like crazy options available. Before we were just limited to just mixed reality, Vive, and even for the longest we didn't even have index. Having the finger tracking and such. So just being able to see like all of these improvements over time, obviously we're looking forward to more. And hopefully we get more with these upcoming year. Because I know COVID really like paralyzed a lot of that growth. Surprisingly, we did grow a lot during that time, which is pretty crazy to think about if you really think about it.
Yeah. We were earlier.
You know what?
Ooh, sorry. You first. I do apologize.
Sorry. No, you're fine. I just wanted to mention, like, my favorite part about the new models is that you can literally just, like, play with other people's hair now. You didn't used to be able to do that, and it kind of sucked. And I remember, like, people would be like, hey, I got this super secret file for you where you can touch other people's fist bones. And, it used to be kind of passed around as, like, this under-the-table thing. But now it's, it's here in the game. It's great.
Didn't, like, back
See, that's
a year
the
ago
problem
as
back
banned?
then.
Like, before this interactive ability. Wasn't it, like, a banned mod of sorts?
Yeah, it was a thing that you put in your files, I think.
That's what I was just about to mention. Back then, a lot of this stuff was like secretive, and it was very hard to get your hands on a lot of stuff. And people, they hid it from you on purpose. They're like, I have all this technology, all this like scripts or prefabs or anything that can make your life like 50 times easier. Your models could be so much easier. Your life could be easier. Your job, everything could be easier. But I'm going to keep the gate kept. You're not going to have any of that information. And a lot of VRChat was like that. Like, I'm sure it's like that still to this day, but a lot of it's becoming more accessible because VRChat themselves are finally getting stepping up and putting it into the actual system.
Okay.
That is finally helping people out. I'm pretty sure today we're still suffering that same issue with people keeping the information to themselves. But there's definitely that issue.
Why do you think
Yes, you could possibly get banned.
people have been secretive back then and even today about like, oh, I can touch avatars now, you should see it? Why has stuff like that been so hush hush?
Well, you want me to say it?
I just love it when they turn at each other and look and going,
Who's answering?
damn it, say so. Who's got to go first? Let's flip a coin. Flip the coin. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Hey, you joke, but we do have a coin. We have a Pikachu coin in the house that we flip when we can't make decisions.
Does it say heads I win, tails you lose?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Did you get the joke?
Heads, I win, tails. Oh.
No matter what, whoever's flipping the coin says it, you're gonna lose. Who's on receiving the other end?
So
It's a
don't play
non-winning
coin
coin.
flip with you. I understand. Okay.
That's right. Yep.
I forgot the question already.
So I remember.
Okay, good. You can answer.
So with a lot of this stuff, there were multiple reasons why. I feel like one of the main reasons were just because they were so powerful with what they can do. Like obviously I could turn into like an avatar from back then, but a lot of them are broken. But would it be like be a lot of prefabs that would be like, let's say, global audio? Back then, that was so like secretive. Like nobody wanted to explain that. But if you figured it out, everybody was DMing you like, "Hey, can I have that information? Hey, I want to do that." But obviously, a lot of this information got on a lot of bad hands, and that caused a lot of problems. And like we would try to make it where, okay, don't give this information to certain people because they will cause troubles in public worlds and other users, and you can't really do nothing about it. So like I have a pretty cool like example because like some people even created like an avatar that can like cancel out sound from avatars. I don't know how it's made, but it's really cool how it's done. um, See, information like that, we don't have that because if you were to use that in like a world, I can cancel the audio in the world. Somebody's trying to showcase something, I can cancel their audio. That information being widespread, it can really ruin the experience for other users. And VRChat's definitely suffered with that in the past, where people were doing like very unsavory type acts with the abilities. A lot of them were involving like crashing, breaking people's actual equipment. And I had a friend that even suffered from like doxing and ratting. So it's not good stuff that is kept. A lot of it is hidden for a good reason.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and of course, a lot of it could be bannable.
Yeah. Like back in the day, you'd be able to touch people's avatars and stuff. Wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That too, and there was like one that back then you could like push. You can even carry avatars. Now VRChat, obviously, we kind of have that feature where we can like touch people, and like that we do have certain worlds now that you can carry other people. It's not like we do have the chair system, which is really nice. I love that that's actually a feature now in VRChat. Before, that was something that was kept behind secrets that how to put a chair on an avatar. Now, almost everybody can have a chair on their avatar if they wanted.
Okay.
So there's some goodness to come from it.
Yeah. So so EAC and all of that stuff that kind of they worked in prior. What are your guys' thoughts from the avatar creator side of things about the whole EAC and stuff?
Well, for me, it doesn't really affect that much because I never really got into that whole like community of doing that type of thing. I haven't had any problems with EAC like myself. I feel like it has kind of toned down some of the more crashy people, and so some of the unsavory behavior has kind of lightened up a little bit. But other than that, like, it hasn't really changed too much, at least not for me specifically.
Yeah, to add into that, like it's kind of nice in a way. Like, yeah, people like may have certain like accessibilities that were really beneficial. Like I know a lot of them were arguing, well, this is good for like the mute community, and this is good for all these other communities with disabilities, which is sadly understandable. However, there's like a bigger pro to it because I know some really bad players. I won't name names, but I know some really bad players that left VRChat to play other VR games that are similar to VRChat, no names named, and the I say good riddance. VRChat's been so much more peaceful with those certain individuals gone.
Indeed.
Because we may have lost some accessibility, but we gained so much more peace and quality out of it. I feel like it was a good move overall.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice too that when they did release that update for VRChat, there was a lot of backlash from the community. A lot of the people that have like disabilities are like, well, this is gonna like ruin my experience. And from what I can tell, VRChat did pretty good about trying to get those things into the game like as soon as they could after all of that backlash came out. So yeah. it's good, I think.
Okay. I do remember back in the day, I was like you, I never used mods. And one of my friends who has disabilities and used them, was telling me how it's horrible. I'm there fascinated. Look, we have a personal mirror now. This is amazing. He's just like,
Yeah.
it's already existed.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Has any of the updates since then or back then have benefited you as a avatar creator?
I mean, Fizzbones definitely for sure. You can do all kinds of like crazy things with them. I really want to learn some more like in-depth stuff, but it's really hard to learn like the animators and the controllers and all of that stuff. I'm not very good at it. I'm definitely a more of a Blender person for sure. But let's see. I do really like the toggles. Like those used to be really hard to do and kind of annoying back on the old avatar system. I don't know if you guys were like around when you would do your hand gestures, and your hand gestures would be the thing to toggle like everything. Like you would do peace and you could summon a sword or something like that. And that was like the only way to do it back then, right? Yeah, and it was super annoying because like he would give me animations to put on my models sometimes, and you know, sometimes they have music, and you'll just be out walking about having a good time with your friends, and then you accidentally hit this button, and then like everything just blows up and all chaos breaks loose. It's not quite that bad, but you get what I mean. You'd hit the button sometimes, and then you know your animations would happen, and it's not what you wanted in that point.
Okay.
Yeah, the exact reason I don't use old avatars anymore. They all do that. I'm just walking around spamming animations.
Yeah. So I don't miss that at all. It's been nice to have like the updated system where you can set toggles, you know, in like a menu or something instead. Yeah.
Okay. So, with some of the updates and your experience, is there anything that VR that could be added to VR chat or VR in general, for that matter as a whole, to make what you do easier?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like creator economy, when that eventually comes, will be nice, hopefully. Because I know a lot of people like don't know how to upload models. So if they can just get it directly from VR chat and, you know, install it or whatever that way, that'd be really nice for them. Because yeah, some people just don't want to deal with it, and I don't blame them, because Unity's hard. Not everybody wants to learn it. Not everybody has the time to do it. And if we could just put everything into one place and let VR chat kind of just handle all of the uploading and all of that stuff, that'd be really nice for those people. It'd be nice for the creators too, because I feel like if you're gonna buy a model, it'd be easier to just do it in VR chat rather than, you know, you go to Vket, you look for the creator's booth page, copy and paste it into your browser, scan QR code, click the web page, whatever, and then you have to buy it out there, then you have to download it and then upload it, and if there's problems in the file, then you have to fix those before you can upload it. It's a lot. It's a lot of steps for someone that is just trying to use an avatar. Let's see, what else? An inventory system would be really cool, but I don't know if they can do that. You know, where you just have like all your props and stuff stored outside of your avatar, so you can summon them regardless of what you're using.
Okay.
I know there's been talks of it, but there's nothing official just yet. Not even in the beta.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think they'll ever incorporate something like that? Or do you think it's like a wish that VR chat hopes for?
For me, that's that would be cool. It's not really a wish. I think the Unity part and just being able to get your avatars from directly in the game is definitely something that should be in the game. That's not a wish. That's a, hey, we really need this. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
The other one, not so much. It doesn't matter too much because, you know, we have our own little toggles built into the models, which isn't too bad. But again, if we did have that type of system, people that don't like Unity or don't want to mess with it wouldn't have to worry about it if we had that. Shoot, I had another point and I forgot it.
Yeah, I feel like they want to do it. It's just not top priority. It's definitely not up there yet.
Okay.
Oh, I remembered.
You remember?
I really wish they would give avatar creators the same type of information that world creators get. Like how many people have visited, or in this case, used it, or how many people have favorited it, or, you know, just stuff like that, because that's all missing from avatars. We're kind of blind. I don't know which one is, like, the most popular, which one people like the most, which ones people hate the most, you know? There's no no way for me to tell other than them coming in and like messaging me or something and saying your model sucks.
Yeah.
And, you know, but
Damn, they got a
Imagine
little
having that
harsh on her
information.
end.
no, I don't. No one's done that. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Imagine having that information. Just how many current players have my avatar favorited, and then
Yeah.
just being able to look at that. You don't have to give names, but like just having a number, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be really nice because then you can kind of like, you know, judge which features are more popular, which ones aren't, what type of style is more popular, which ones aren't, you know?
Yeah. It could help you more. Oh, spearhead. Hold on. Spearhead what you're
Smack that leg, it'll go back into play.
doing. Looks like my tracker decided to
Work
turn
that
off.
shit. Come on.
Ironically, that's
Oh,
one
you
of the
pop-
things they're working on now is
Oh, really?
better IK tracking for the
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
for leg trackers.
I was
Yeah.
hearing, I was hearing a
Yeah.
They
little
actually-
bit about that actually. Do you know more about it? Because I know little to nothing.
They put some information out yesterday, actually, on their most recent post. But it looks like it's going to be tracking a bit better. Even if you covered up, for example, they used an example of it being covered with a blanket. You'll be able to set like its actual positioning. So even if you lose the tracking, you can turn the tracker off, and your leg's still going to be placed like how you have it preferred. Also, this probably might extend battery life for some people because I know those trackers, they do not last. Vive trackers, anyways. I'm not sure which ones you're using, but Vive trackers, they do not last long. So that might help when you can just turn them off for a bit, have your leg placed there, like, you know, having your leg crossed, for example, or laying down, turn off the tracker, and it's still tracked in that same spot. They did mention like it's a work in progress. They don't have an official date yet, but it'll probably be in the beta pretty soon. Hopefully pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah. They're gonna get rid of that thing where if you lose your tracking, your body just goes flying off into space.
All dancers know it.
Oh,
Yes.
You don't have that problem, do you, Lion?
No, not
Not
at all.
You just sit right there near Doma. Yeah, you're
I've never
perfectly
launched
fine.
to space or been frozen with my legs in the air. That's never
been
happened.
abducted.
No, never at all. Uh-huh.
Just the aliens, the abductions come and get your body.
Well, if that's the case, they ain't getting much from me. They're just gonna get a whole set of bones.
Well, Raptor, they'd get all of you. You're too small. But at least, if that happened to me, I at least have enough weight where they get a leg. They'd get all of you. Then to get an entire.
Hey, Lion, it's like they say. You ever had frog legs? There ain't much on the bone, is there? Think about it.
I've never had frog legs.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
Oh, you ain't missing much. You ever have frog
Yeah,
legs?
unfortunately, I grew up in Louisiana, so yeah, frog legs
Yeah,
were
see, this
once
boy,
a time of
this
that.
boy knows what crawdad, gumbo, and frog legs is. See, he ain't no
Sure
fool.
do.
Mhm. And I'm not from the South, and I've had it.
Indeed. So,
Not there now, but yes, the group
not
there.
there. Okay.
Gotcha.
What is so with the different communities, like for example, the avatar building community and what you've met with Vket, how are they different from the regular body of Vrchat as a community?
Honestly, I don't really think they are different. I haven't been in the community for super long. I tend to keep to myself. Like I said, this is my first time trying to like go out and, you know, meet new people. But from what I do know, like most of the avatar creators and, you know, especially the people at Vket, they've all been very, very helpful. There's no like, oh, this is my super secret knowledge and you can't have it. It's all mine to hoard. There's not really any of that I've seen. It's just normal people from what I can tell, you know.
Okay.
Just we make avatars, I guess, and things.
I feel like something I've started to notice in VR chat is because I've been hanging around a lot of like groups recently. Is eventually the groups kind of like clash in a way. Like you start meeting individuals from one group to another group, and then those become friends, and then they see another group, and they end up clashing of another group. So eventually everybody's starting to run into these groups. And this is kind of a new system currently in VRChat, the groups. So it's kind of
Groups.
nice to see it actually kind of having a thing going on, because I don't know if you see it, but we're in the Vket group in our names. Obviously, we get to hang out with the Vket individuals, but it starts to clash with like groups. For example, we hang out with the VR Japan Tours group. I have the English to Japanese group. Sinrith has her own group, and I know we have other ones, but it just seems like it clashes in, and we start to meet other individuals. I'm not in all these groups, but you start becoming friends with people from those groups.
Yeah.
And we start seeing those in VCAT as well, and people, they tend to network pretty well between the groups and then where instances and just the meetings in events.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the groups. The groups has been really, really great. Cause you know, like I said, I'm very shy. I don't want to come out. I don't want to go meet people. People are scary. So the groups has actually made that a lot easier, because you know, usually they'll be like, okay, we're doing a group event. Here's the agenda. Here's what we're gonna do. And I'm like, oh, good. There's an agenda, so I know exactly what I should be doing if I'm not like actively talking to people. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas when you join a public lobby, it's just kind of chaos everywhere you look. So the groups are nice.
Also, at least with the newer
Set
newer
times are amazing.
updates to up groups, is they also had better moderation from the community as well. So you can like ban or warn or send people out as a group instead of like, maybe VRChat will eventually get to this person. Anyway. It is nice to see.
Yeah. I've had some interesting experiences of group publics so far. You haven't really, because this is something I've been doing like really late when I'm playing pretty much by myself. Group publics are kind of interesting because it's technically still a public world. You can join a public world, but there's a group of individuals that are obviously going to know each other. Not long ago, me and two other friends, we went to a group public. It was like one of these bar worlds. And we just walked in there. We didn't realize they were like role playing. So we walked in there just as normal players. So we walk in there and the barkeeper starts talking to us like we're a customer. We're like, okay, interesting. Why not play along? We walk in there and he's like, Kyudo, what would you like to drink? Give him a drink. But he realized like Vket and my name, which is Japanese, he starts talking to me in Japanese. I'm like, oh, it's too late for that, because it's like 2 a.m. my time. I'm like, my Japanese brain's asleep. I can't speak in Japanese right now. So you run into some interesting stuff, and then just being it's a public, it's still chaos, but it's controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos. Chaos control.
God damn, I want to go to there.
Yeah.
You do?
Try them out. Try some public groups. They're interesting.
I go and bounce around in a lot of worlds and stuff like this. Sometimes hop in and everything else like this. But good question, since he's talking public worlds. What would be the best way, in your mind, to separate the children from the adults? Knowing you guys have been on here for quite a while, what would be an idea that you might have? We've been throwing this around back and forth, me and Line, a few other people we've asked, and then what would be an easier way to separate the youngins from the adults?
I think that's really, really hard. I know back in, and this is like gonna date me a little bit, but back in Second Life, I remember they had to have like a special verification system. So if you were under 18, you had to like submit your ID or whatever, like school ID, and get parental permission and all of this other stuff. But I don't know if that would even really work in VR. Plus, people don't really want to give out their IDs to, you know, strange companies. And you'd have to like make it so that the kids can't even see adults or interact with them somehow. Again, you'd still go back to the point of you need some kind of ID verification or something, and I don't think people really want to do that, right? I don't know.
Well,
it's hard. It's really hard.
I'll say pro tip: avoid quest worlds. Shout out to my quest people.
Yeah.
Avoid quest
I'm a
worlds
quest
because
person.
majority. Yeah.
Hello.
See? You probably
has a quest
witnessed
too.
them, haven't you?
Witness, man, I run from them. Holy shit. Oh God, here's another goddamn 13-year-old asking. My biggest thing is being in public worlds and stuff like this. Once my age gets out, it's not that they're running from me. Oh God, he's nothing about what I am or anything like this because I'm small. They'll come up and ask advice. How do you give somebody a just stepping out the door? Sorry to inform you, that's what your parents are for. Why are you coming in asking something that I can't guide you in? I can't send you down that road because your road's different. Each person's got their own road and everything else like this. I can tell you not to do, but that don't mean you ain't gonna go and play in the mud puddle like any other kid. Come on, just one, stay out of the mud puddle. Oh shit, there goes Billy. He just dove right in. It don't matter because they're gonna do the opposite of what, especially when I have kids. You know, I've got my own kids, and they're all grown up now and everything else like this. My daughter comes on here once in a while. She hasn't been on in a while. But I got her the headset to help her with her anxiety. She doesn't like crowds, blah, blah, blah. And it worked for a while. And then other things come up and everything else like this, and she just put on the brakes. It just slammed up. She hasn't put it on very often. Her PC needs to be updated so she can see the stuff that, because I'm hooked, I'm Quest, but I'm hooked to my PC. I've updated mine enough and everything else like this. And stuff like this. She's 18. It's time to get out there. You got to learn what the mighty dollar and all that, blah, blah, blah. I can't afford to pay for you the rest of your life. It just doesn't work that way. But, you know, like I said, when you see, even if you go into go to raves and stuff like this, you see all kinds of stuff. You see music that people can, and it's great. But, and everything else like this. And so I'm not rattling on myself because I could be here for days. I can't even pronounce his name. I hate fucking having dyslexia. It sucks dick.
Kyudo.
Kyudo?
Kyudo. With your eye tracking head, Kyudo. What he said, okay? What he said. I'm pushing it, okay? With the eye tracking setup with the headgear that you're running and everything else like this, with the headgear, and because I don't have it, what do you think of the new gear that's coming out, and what do you hopefully they put just strictly in the gear itself, just in the headgear itself? What do you think should be out there to make it easier for everybody, except for the cost that you can piss that in the wind?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
just the gear itself.
I agree to that. So definitely, because like now that I'm using the Quest Pro, by the way, which is still technically a Quest, so I do have to connect through AirLink, which is a pain, because you know exactly what it is. It's like you have like these good quality for a good bit, and then all of a sudden you'll drop quality so bad. You're like, why am I wearing this? I want to throw this in the trash because it's so bad. But the Quest Pro is actually pretty decent. I feel like they could have made it a lot better. But being that these are made for, you know, air quote business, they aren't really working very well for VR chat. Maybe for other games, like I did try it in Zenith VR. It's another VR game that's like an MMO multiplayer game. It seems to work fine, but still, you still suffer from like the bad quality. You still suffer from like just the distortion and lack of like quality overall. So when it comes to looking into new VRs, being that I have this now, I'm spoiled with wanting face tracking, eye tracking, mouth tracking, all that fancy stuff. And it doesn't seem like it's that hard, but they refuse to put it on these newer models. Like they just announced the newest Quest, and that one doesn't even have face tracking. And this is a Quest product. So seeing that they're releasing a whole new product missing that feature completely turns me off from it. Like I don't want that. We're hoping that we hear news about like a new index or something from Valve, because that's what she has. She has the index, and she loves it. However, it's faulty and it's hard to replace. It's hard to keep in good quality. She was using the index controller. She had to basically put those not in the trash, but on the side, because she's getting really bad drift. So the controllers need a lot of improvement. I love having the analog sticks. I can't stand trackpads. I had trackpads for like 3 years. I don't think I could ever go back to it. So having analog sticks and buttons is nice. Quest Pro could technically do like the hand tracking, but I never could get it to work for me. I attempt to, and it just like completely like broke everything. So I just went back to using my controls again. It'd be nice to see VRChat adapt more with stuff like that. I'm not too like I need that type of product now for the hand tracking. But I do feel like for face tracking, it's become such. Once you try it, it's hard to not have it on. You have to have it on every time you play. Like it just becomes like a habit. Like this model is a bad example. I could change my avatar so you can see one with actual full face tracking. It's so different because this one's not really made for it. But definitely quality. Where we don't have to use AirLink, I wish Meta would just get a kick in the right direction and actually fix it where we can just use VRChat through Steam on their own system. But that's wishful thinking. Let's see, anything else to add? I know tracking is a big one.
My wish list for a new headset would be eye tracking. One that has the built-in eyeglasses, because I wear glasses. I have a whole separate pair of glasses for VR because my main ones don't fit in the headset. So I have a second pair. It'd be nice to have, the actual like prescription built in, which I know the big screen can do that, but it doesn't have eye tracking, and I really want eye tracking for the next headset too. So
there's an easy way to do that. Actually, there's lenses you can buy online. I actually showed Raptor the website. They're like $50, and you put in your prescription, and it's like an insert. You just slide it directly over the headset.
I know.
And you'll select the headset you have, and it'll fit perfectly.
No, but the next one might be around the corner, and now that my controllers are dead, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm waiting. And I don't want to spend another $50 on a headset because I don't know when the next one's going to come out, Because this one's reaching its end of life, I think. It's, 4 or 5 years old now? So
something like that. Yeah, you can see, like, now that it switched the model, you can see, like, the face is a lot more expressive. So whenever I do open my mouth or my eyes, you can see where my eyes are looking. I like to do the eye test where it's follow the finger.
Oh, wow, that's pretty wild.
That's wow.
I'll move closer to your face so you can.
Okay, young man, have you been drinking and driving? Follow my finger. Yeah, you ever had that one thrown at you?
Chat.
Sorry, I've been playing VR. I know how to work this game. I know how to work this, officer. You can't get me on drinking or driving. I've been watching your freaking for an hour. I can do it great.
So,
yeah.
I saw you moving around earlier.
I know where you've been looking.
I do feel like you get more. Well, see that too. So you get very expressive, and I really like that about face tracking. I feel like if we just had it more normalized, you would see it because you like actually have eye-to-eye contact. You could see where people are looking, and you could tell when somebody's actually legit like laughing, smiling. Like, it really shows the expression on them. It makes it more like realistic. You get more immersed into it, and like I got to the point where now I can't play. Like right now I have that self mirror, as was mentioned earlier. I have that. Like I have to have it on because I have to see what face I'm doing, and like, am I actually like face tracking working? Is it broken? Because sometimes it'll break, but it's usually pretty simple to fix. I know it's pretty big in like the communities right now. A lot of people are getting their hands on face tracking. So right now there are not a lot of avatars that are made for it. There's quite a process to get your avatar made for face tracking. By default, VRChat has done a recent update that you could do it on majority of the avatars, and it's pretty nice. It's not as good as like something like this, but it's a lot better than before. Before we didn't have anything at all.
yeah.
So what does it take to put that
I literally
stuff on an
can
avatar? Sorry.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Sorry, I hit my controller. I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Oh, jeez, running out of the frame. What's
I'm
wrong with you?
sorry,
Trying to
I'm
get lost in the forest.
I'm
We're in
sorry,
the
I
forest
hit
with
it.
all
Punch
these
everybody.
trees. Oh,
Get everybody up real
for
quick.
a girl that doesn't want to get into anybody's Bubble. She just wants to kick your ass. Got it. I understand what she's talking about.
Oh, I'm so bad about running into people, especially with like the controller drift that I had, just running into people from behind constantly. I'm like, sorry, guys. So I know
It's
some
just
people are
immersive.
like,
She'll do it in
"Oh,
real
my
life too.
bubble."
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, true. I do bump into him all of the time. I'm very, very, very clumsy, so we'll just be like taking a walk, and I'll just, and he'll be like, why? Yeah. So eye tracking for avatars. I haven't set it up yet, but I did tell him buy that headset so I can set up your eye tracking, which I haven't done yet. But there are like some special shape keys and stuff that you need. I believe you can get away using the Apple shape keys. I don't remember what they're called right now. But there's a few different naming conventions that you have. So you have the Apple one, and then there's one that's called like Srapnel or something. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Either way, using one of those, you should be able to like name your blend shape keys and stuff the way that you need them to be. And then there's like special animators and controllers and stuff that you have to do in VRChat. It does have it kind of by default now, but like Kyudo was showing, it's not super like polished. If you do it manually and set it up yourself, it's gonna look a lot better. I don't know if you guys could tell the difference with his eyes, but this is the one that's actually
You can
set up
see
and
my
in the
mouth.
Ukon.
It actually checks my mouth on this one.
Yeah, and the eyes in this one
Yeah.
actually tracks a lot smoother too. You can actually notice
the
it a lot
smoothing.
better.
I can
the
blow my
smoothing.
cheeks.
Oh.
Just don't blow a fart. Well, I'll have to go over to by the cabin.
You gotta watch out for the fire, you know.
Yeah, I'll be the first one roast here. Be in the fart over there by the teddy bear. I'll be over by the building looking out of the window going, yep, that's what happened. You just blew me right over
Yep.
there. No big deal.
Yeah, you look like you got mange.
Yeah.
Hair missing.
Well, I got rid of the fleas, right? Yeah, thanks. I see where you're going with that one. Yeah.
Oh. Well,
There's quite a process to get the face tracking together. There are Discords out there that help individuals. It's the face tracking community. I'm actually in the group, but they do meetups once in a while. I never actually go to them, but they seem like pretty helpful individuals. They do have commissions. The commissions are typically extremely expensive. I've seen them run from like $300 to maybe $60, but there are some individuals that sell it on like Ko-Fi, Gumroad, or Booth, and it's kind of like a buy and then recreate your avatar with that new face tracking. Those usually are run pretty cheap. Those go about $15, maybe $30, depending on the model and the creator, of course. But like this one, I believe I purchased this one from Ko-Fi, and it's just $15. That helped me a lot because obviously I was like, okay, I want to see if I even like the face tracking in the first place. So I purchased one of those, got the new headset. Like, oh, okay, this is actually working pretty well. When I first got the headset, there was like no models that had face tracking, and VRChat didn't have the implication yet. So I was almost tempted to just return the headset because there was nothing at the time in VRChat.
okay.
But now it's like you're seeing it more and more, so yay. Now we just need headsets that support it.
I do know
Exactly.
there's some
That'd be a
people
nice
who
upgrade.
modded the index to do some of that stuff, but it's you
Yeah.
look like you're RoboCop from the future with all this shit on your face.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
it's like
Why add more
What?
goddamn weight?
I understand that it's some type of like laser or something that you have to use to get your eyes. So you have to be careful setting it up yourself too, because it's a laser pointed at your eyeballs. If you screw it up, you're screwing yourself up. So if you're not, super confident or tech savvy or something, it's probably not what the average person is gonna want to do. I'm
You-
afraid to do it.
Do you guys think that kind of new tech will be incorporated more through like VR?
I hope.
Because I have noticed one thing, VRChat's
hope.
one of the few and only places you'll see that new tech incorporated super quickly. Like even look down at full body tracking. If you look most VR games, it's not even impossible. A lot of us doesn't even know VR
Yep.
tracking exists. But here, it's like, as soon as it's out, someone's got a Unity package preset for it somewhere.
Yeah. I feel like it being a social game helps a lot with that, because like what are you gonna do with face tracking in like Half-Life Alyx, you know? You don't really see yourself at all, but if you're talking to someone, then yeah, I can see like your eyes moving, I can see your mouth moving. It just
A lot of
works
the
in a
social
social
ones would be
game.
great.
I feel like, yeah,
Mhm.
the more stuff you have
Like-
to make it like an interaction with a real person, the better your social experience is gonna be.
I feel like if Valve does introduce a new VR headset and it doesn't have face tracking, I feel like that might be a big miss on their part, because they would bank in a lot.
Yeah.
I already know the index itself is such a success in sales. If they can do that with a new one, if they do make a new one, they would really bank in on that, and it would sell a lot.
From my understanding,
I will go into debt with that pre-order.
From my understanding, Valve has 2 headsets patented right now. Both are being worked on. There's the Deckard, which is their standalone they're working on. It's supposed to be like wireless, cordless, like the Quest, but from Steam. Then they have the Galaga, which is going to be, it's going to brain, from my understanding, it'll have EKG, EEG brain sensors worked into the headset directly. So you'd be able to like think, move apart, and in theory, you'd move apart. Or open door and you'd open door. Or what say you, that's in theory what
Huh.
it should be able to do. And I think those 2 are coming around the corner. May have face tracking, like the muscles and nerves that say move eyeball is a very easy thing to read your brain sending. So therefore, in theory, instead of having lasers, they could have it so you think blink, or your body blinks, and it catches the nerve signal and goes blink, and you'd blink. For example.
That's some future right there. I was gonna curse and I'm like, oh no.
Oh,
Don't,
you can
don't
curse. Oh,
Do
you
your
can curse.
best.
You can curse. We swear
I'll
all the
try.
time.
We don't give a flying fuck what you say. We say fuck this, kiss my ass, and blow it out your ass. We don't give a shit.
Normally, it's a sailor talk all around, so it's all fine with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa. No sailor trash in here, please.
Damn.
Damn.
Unless you can swim. I'll drown first. You go ahead. You can stand on me, but you won't get very far.
Oh, I'm fine. I can swim.
So
We
can
can
I.
both swim.
Well, if you
Good thing.
get too angry, you can use Raptor as a stress toy too. You'll be fine with it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thanks. Wait, you think I'm one of those balls you can squish?
Yeah.
boy.
Do the squeezy and watch your eyeballs pop
You
out.
can do that with your avatar now.
Yeah,
Wow,
with squish bones.
it's a Raptor flippy toy. Spin toy. Oh, there it goes. Wow, he's over in the hills
Oh.
now. Bye. Yeah,
Hey,
great.
you know,
I
with,
catch all
with
shit.
fizz bones, we could definitely do that, Raptor. You could put like a contact in your belly, and when someone squishes it, you can make your eyeballs pop out. You know, it'd be great. You should do it.
I'm talking with Snuff.
You know what I'm gonna say when. You know what I'm gonna say when somebody says something like that. You know, right?
Yes.
Okay, young lady, I'm old school, so when somebody says that my eyeballs are gonna pop out of my head, that's another word of saying somebody's skull fucked me to death. No, thank you very much.
Well, in modern context,
Uh-huh.
we think of like those stress toys where you'd squeeze them and the rubber eyes will come out of the sockets, the little funny ear things will come out. Not skull fucking you.
And the shit comes out the ass. And the shit comes out of the ass like the little pig. Oh, whoop, look at that. Oh, all his guts go to his asshole. No big deal. Yeah, I know how it works.
Of all the videos, I hope Snuff watches this one. Because it'll be minutes before she's in Unity
Oh, thank-
updating your avatar.
Yes! Oh, shit. Don't. She's got to be in my avatar in
Better
a
have a good
heartbeat.
sound.
Oh, wait until it's over with. We will show you a little bit more about this avatar after the commercial break. No, afterwards.
Long story short, it's my fault.
Mhm.
Her and I were laughing when you see the Avatar edition. And as soon as we were joking about it, she just leaves VR chat and then comes back and goes, Raptor, I did a thing. Reset your avatar.
Yeah. So it's fun.
I love it.
It's all in fun.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much, you two, for your time. It's been a pleasure getting to sit down and talk and meet with you. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
I didn't think about plugs. Crap. Now my brain is like.
Well, you got your booth. You got Your Twitter?
You can do the plugging. Good, good.
Oh man. All right.
Well, you just got thrown underneath the bus.
It was my turn to get thrown down. Well, for
Mhm.
Sinrith, there is Booth, where you can find all her models, which is just Sinrith, Sinrith. And for Twitter, if you want to follow for her Twitter, it is Sinrith_VRC. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And what about yourself?
And for me, I'm just on Twitter and Twitch. I stream. I'm all around. So for me, it's Kyudo, just like here, and add maple, like the leaf, or syrup, however you want to say it. So it's Kyudo Maple on Twitter, and on Twitch, it's also Kyudo Maple.
Okay. Well, everybody, check the description for all the links that were mentioned. They'll all be down in the hoobly what's a thingamabobble. And enjoy the rest of your day.
And last thing I can say, it's hot in here. My ass is burning. Damn. Have a good one, folks. And thank you guys again. Take care.
Thank you.
See ya. Thank you for seeing us.